Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is September 19th of 2025. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage an escalating wave of domestic violence and terrorism in the United States that is going to climax at the memorial service for Charlie Kirk that's going to be held at State Farm Arena in Glendale, Arizona on the date of September 21st of 2025. In other words, the next 48 hours we can expect terrorist related activities that are blamed by the CIA on the right hand side, such as Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, MAGA, etc., and on the left, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Code Pink, etc. So this is basically the CIA is basically trying to start a civil war in the United States in the next 48 hours. And so we must prepare, buckle up, because the CIA is about ready to stage attacks from both sides, likely resulting in the death of A-list celebrities and the death of Donald J. Trump. So for those of you that are unaware, on the date of Sunday, September 21st, the CIA is holding the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated by the Israeli Mossad while speaking at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, back on September 10th of 2025. If you haven't seen the video, there is a gunman underneath the bleachers, and there's a muzzle flash, and at that exact instant, Charlie Kirk's head moves and blood sprays out. So the gunman was not on the roof, as the CIA is alleging, and as the FBI is alleging, but he is the gunman who escaped, who likely took a plane out of there shortly thereafter, is underneath the bleachers. Just find the video online. It's quite shocking. But this political assassination is designed to be the impetus for a civil war in the United States. Charlie Kirk was a very influential person for the Make America Great Again movement. And so the CIA plans to capitalize upon his death to try to start a civil war, which is going to commence on September 21st of 2025. Most likely in the aftermath of an escalating terror attacks in the United States. So basically what I'm going to do in this video is, first I'm going to highlight the right-wing escalation, and then I'm going to highlight the left-wing side of this equation. Because this is how the CIA works. They work in the gray area between the left and the right, and then they blame attacks on each side, whatever is politically convenient. In the case of Charlie Kirk, they blamed a left-wing trans shooter, when in fact it was the Israeli Mossad. So these impending acts of terrorism that are going to plague the United States in the next 48 hours are going to be executed on the ground by the Israeli Mossad and likely rogue agents within the U.S. Local, state, and federal government. So first, in respect to the right-wing narrative, so I'm just going to go in chronological order. So on September 9th of 2025, a right-wing neo-Nazi from the Antwerpen neo-Nazi group pled guilty to a 9/11 style drone bombing attack in Nashville, Tennessee. 3 days later, on 9/12, a white supremacist far-right terrorist. On 9/12, the Department of Justice issued a white supremacist far-right terror warning, which they said continues that white supremacists and the far right, quote unquote, continues to outpace all other types of terrorism and domestic violence extremism in the United States. And this is basically the DOJ saying, alert, alert, right-wing terror attacks ahead. 3 days later, on September 15th of 2025, the CIA staged the lynching of Damar Travian Trey Reed at Delta State University and Cleveland, Mississippi. And Colin Kaepernick, who was very instrumental in the Black Lives movement, he is now funding a independent autopsy. So then when this result comes out that he was lynched, the CIA is going to stage riots across the United States. On September 16th, Jimmy Kimmel was fired by ABC News, and this is designed to highlight ABC, designed to highlight Charlie Kirk and alleged fascism within the. Even though he was fired by Disney, it's being blamed on the Trump administration. And let's see. A day later, the CIA staged a right-wing domestic terrorist-based vehicular ramming attack targeting the FBI field office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That same day, the CIA also staged a mass shooting attack in Pennsylvania, killing 3 police officers and wounding 2 others who will likely die because this attack in Pittsburgh was a foiled attack by yours truly, targeting a synagogue in Squirrel Hill. And these were dirty cops that were subsequently eliminated, but that's a different story. And then, of course, we have I should mention that also on the 16th, there was, well, I'm going to back up. But anyways, this is all leading up to all these this chain reaction of all these right-wing attacks are all leading up to this event on the 21st, Sunday of the 21st of September. And in order to foreshadow the Civil War in the United States, the #1 movie, which is going to be coming out on the 26th, is called One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, and it's about right-wing white revolutionaries in the United States, coincidentally. So that's the narrative that the CIA is creating. So exactly what type of attacks the CIA will scapegoat onto right-wing domestic terrorists, in this case, white Christian domestic terrorists, is not known, but 9/11 style attacks, possibly drone, helicopter, or airplane. So we can expect attacks, bombings, CBRN-related attacks, and this is the most important one because they're going to spawn a second global biological pandemic and then blame Trump and the right wing for it. So we can expect biological, chemical, radiological, or nuclear-related events, mass shooting attacks, political assassinations, a Trump assassination, race war attacks, cross burnings, lynchings, etc., as previously evidenced by the lynching at Mississippi, in Mississippi. Okay, so if the CIA is going to stage secondary political assassinations, and we know that they assassinated Charlie Kirk, I'll state it for the record here, on September 19, 2025, they assassinated Charlie Kirk because they're going to assassinate Trump. And so on September 21st, you having a MAGA congregation in Arizona. You're having President Donald J. Trump. You're having Vice President J.D. Vance. You're having Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, Marco Rubio. So you're basically having a MAGA party, and I've said this on the record now multiple times, but I believe that something will likely happen to Donald J. Trump prior to this event, and that they're going to use this as a mini RNC convention to basically put the crown onto J.D. Vance. And so now we go to the left wing. So it's highly likely that they're going to stage some sort of Antifa related assassination event targeting Donald J. Trump. I just published a report for yesterday for an Antifa drone strike targeting the White House. And so I'm going to get into the left side of the equation now with Antifa, which is basically in order to provide a timely motive for an Antifa related attack or assassination event targeting Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump announced via Truth Social on September 17th that he is now designating Antifa a terrorist organization. His exact quote is, "I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster and a major terrorist organization." So basically, this is designed to highlight Antifa on an international level, as well as provide a timely motive for an Antifa-based revenge assassination event targeting Donald J. Trump at a later date, most likely before the date of September 21st of 2025. Um, let's see. So we had, in order to foreshadow an attack on a head of state, the CIA staged the Antifa arson attack targeting Pennsylvania governor's mansion in Pennsylvania. That's Josh Shapiro, back on April 13th of 2025. Then we had the Antifa assassination-related event targeting Donald J. Trump back on July 13th of 2024. And then there was reports that Antifa was responsible for setting wildfires. And then, of course, Trump gassed Antifa protesters outside of St. John's Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C. back on June 1st of 2020. And Donald Trump originally designated Antifa a terrorist organization on March 31st of 2020. And that's what all these trans shootings and all this weird shit going on on the left side of the equation is, because they're going to basically, it could be a storming attack, it could be a truck bombing, it could be a sniper attack, it could be a 9/11 style drone attack, but the CIA is going to stage left-wing and or right-wing terror attacks leading up to this huge event in Arizona on Sunday. So the NFL is going to be on. They picked, and it's being set in an NFL stadium. And so something really major is going to happen in the United States. And what's the end game of all this, in short, is that Donald J. Trump is going to be dead. J.D. Vance is going to be sworn in as president of the United States by September 21st, most likely during the ceremony for Charlie Kirk. And the CIA will likely stage a second global biological pandemic, either under the guise of a right-wing biological attack or a left-wing biological attack. And so then they'll institute a nationwide lockdown, travel bans, vaccine mandates, and all that shit. So this is basically what's going to happen in the next 48 hours. So the CIA they didn't assassinate Charlie Kirk for no reason. This is because this is all part of this. They're going to decapitate the MAGA movement after Charlie Kirk, and then they're going to put in the diet version, the fake version, which is J.D. Vance, and this is all going to happen in the next 48 hours, and it's going to be broadcast live, and so shit's about ready to hit the fan. And so the CIA is flexing their muscles on both sides and getting everybody ready for left-wing attacks and right-wing attacks, so that they can, it's likely going to happen really fast, like probably a tit-for-tat, back and forth. So they killed one of the left, or one of the right guys, which is on the right, which is Charlie Kirk. So now there's probably going to be a political assassination targeting somebody like a woke person on the right, such as AOC, or excuse me, on the left, such as AOC, Bernie Sanders, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, LeBron James, etc. And then it's going to escalate really quickly. So this could get really ugly really fast. And like I said in one of my reports, the CIA is planning on releasing this video of this guy. His name is Demar Travian Reed, this African-American 21-year-old, I believe, or 19-year-old that was allegedly lynched in a tree at Mississippi State University in Cleveland. And as previously mentioned, and he was, if you'll recall, Trayvon Martin was the African-American boy that was allegedly shot by George Zimmerman in Florida during that whole riot scandal back in 2012. So this is basically, I believe this African-American gentleman was targeted because of his name. So anyway, shit's about ready to hit the fan. Obviously, if the CIA stages any sort of left-wing or right-wing terror attacks in the United States prior to, on, or shortly after this Charlie Kirk Memorial in Glendale, Arizona, on the date of September 21st, 2025. I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.